Daniel A. Pinkham of Damariscotta passed away surrounded by family on December 6, 2024 at Gosnell House in Scarborough. Dan was born March 13, 1943 to Lawson and Marie Burnheimer Pinkham of Damariscotta. Towser, as he was known to family and close friends, grew up in Damariscotta, tagging along with his older brother Butch in tales that sound like something from the Little Rascals, and attended local schools. He graduated from Lincoln Academy in 1961 and went on to graduate from the University of Maine in 1965 with a degree in Forestry Utilization. While in college, he met Ann Marie Cyr, and they were married just after they graduated. They raised 3 sons together at Lakehurst on Pemaquid Lake. Dan and Ann had purchased Lakehurst with his brother Gary and sister-in-law Patsy. They continued the long-running weekly dances at the lodge up until 1980 and expanded their cottage rentals from 5 to 10 units. Their history was featured in the Lincoln County News Characters of the County on December 27, 2021. Dan had a long career as an educator, starting on Vinyl Haven after college, with stops in Woolwich and Bristol, before landing at his alma mater, Lincoln Academy, as a science teacher in 1971. He taught general science, biology, and forestry to many students over the years, as well as serving as an advisor. His wife, also a teacher, taught with him for 17 years at Vinyl Haven and Lincoln Academy. He retired in 1999. He had a brief break in teaching to serve his country as a U.S. Navy Seabee, building bases in Okinawa, Japan, and Da Nang, Vietnam in 1968 to 69. He was recently able to revisit his service years as part of a Maine honor flight to our nation's war memorials in Washington, D.C. in the spring of this year, accompanied by his son DJ. While teaching, Dan also served as a Damariscotta representative to the Great Salt Bay School Board for many years. He was part of the board that led the effort to build the new school in the late 1970s that his children and most of his grandchildren matriculated from. Dan was perhaps most well known for the 17 years he spent as Lincoln Academy girls basketball coach. In his first season, he led the team to the 1982 Class B state championship, and his 1996 team came within a point of doing the same. His teams won conference championships in 1982, 1988, and 1996. He was most proud of the 4 Class B Good Sportsmanship Awards that his team received over his tenure. His coaching career at the varsity level was 240 and 108. In recognition of this, he was inducted into the Lincoln Academy Sports Hall of Fame, and his 1982 team was inducted into the Midcoast Sports Hall of Fame for their undefeated season and state championship. He was thrilled to have a mini reunion with his 1982 team earlier this year and have a second chance to ring the bell at LA. Towser did not slow down in retirement. He worked in the woods, cutting pulp, firewood, and the elusive big pine, as he had done every summer since age 13. He continued to manage and maintain Lakehurst. He worked for his son John in construction and snowplowing. He and Ann vacationed 16 times in Hawaii to escape the Maine winters. In his mid-60s, after spending more than a few hours waiting for his sons to complete fire calls, he made the decision to become the oldest rookie and join the Massasoit Engine Company to further serve his community and build fellowship with his fellow company members. As a measure of his service, he was recognized several years for responding to the largest number of calls and participating in the most training exercises. Dan enjoyed deer hunting, watching the Red Sox, reading the paper, spending time on Pemaquid Lake, particularly with his beloved golden retrievers, and watching his grandchildren's sporting events. Dan was predeceased by his parents, Lawson Pinkham and Marie Pinkham Roberts, his brother and best friend, Gary Butch Pinkham, and his sister, Rose Pinkham. Dan is survived by his wife of 59 years, Ann Cyr Pinkham of Damariscotta, brother Alan Buzz Pinkham and his wife Vicky of Damariscotta, sons Daniel DJ Pinkham Jr. and wife Deanna of New London, Missouri, John Pinkham and wife Jerry of Damariscotta, Josh Pinkham and wife Christina of Damariscotta, grandchildren Danielle Pinkham, John Pinkham Jr., Jacob Pinkham, Ashley Pinkham, Christina Pinkham, Julian Hupp, Lily Pinkham, and Michael Pinkham. His brother-in-law Paul Cyr of Damariscotta, sister-in-law Patsy Pinkham of Damariscotta, and nieces whom he considered like daughters, Linnell Duke and her husband Kirk of Falmouth, and Leslie DeRoche and her husband Steve of Dallas, Texas. Dan had a couple of near and dear charities to his heart, including a scholarship in his name at Lincoln Academy, and of course the Massasoit Engine Company. If you are so inclined, please consider a donation to those organizations.